One of the top questions I get about the ketogenic diet is, but what about my wine? Let's talk about that. I'll be right back. Hi, I'm Casey Durango of Go Keto with Casey, where I talk about how I've lost 97.4 pounds since starting the ketogenic protocol, how you may be able to lose weight, improve your health, and regain control of your life. The topic of the moment is alcohol. A lot of misgivings out there about it. Some people say, well, alcohol is very high in carbs. Wine is made from grapes, and spirits are made from grains or potatoes. It is true that wine is made from grapes and spirits are made from grains and potatoes and whatnot. But there are special rules for alcohol. First of all, if you don't drink already, you don't have to start drinking alcohol. And alcohol needs to be taken seriously. But I'll come back to that in a minute. So how can it be that we can have alcohol? Because it does not impact ketosis. Ketosis is where you burn fat for fuel. And it's a really great way for our bodies to be energized. I mean, it's just a great fuel for us, burning fat for fuel, being in ketosis. How do we get there? Keep carbohydrate intake to 20 grams or fewer a day. Total carbs, not net. Eat fatty sources of protein. Or if you like, if it's not on page 4, link below, don't eat it. Don't eat if you're not hungry, and stop when you're satiated. Now, someone's going to say, but Casey, alcohol is not on page 4. Again, special rules. Here's the deal. The fermentation process eats the sugar that would have been in the grapes or the grains. Just like the fermentation process eats the lactose that's in whole milk, where you could get yogurt. So yogurt is allowed, but milk is not, because it's full of lactose. You take milk full of lactose, ferment it for fermentation, eats the sugar, giving it that tangy taste. Same thing with the fermentation to get wine and spirits. I was part of a very tiny trial, a fun one, testing the impact of alcohol on ketosis. Spoiler alert. There isn't one. Now, that said, our bodies need to deal with the alcohol. Our liver must process the alcohol before it kind of does any other housekeeping. It must deal with the alcohol as if the alcohol was a toxin, because it is. So if your body's really busy, dealing with alcohol, it's kind of not going to do its other stuff. So drink in moderation was key anyway. I mean, that's just a good rule of thumb. I personally have enjoyed wine and spirits throughout my entire experience with this, from day one. I will tell you something that we must keep in mind. Our tolerance for alcohol can change as we grow smaller and fitter, and our body chemistry changes. So we want to be careful about that. Here you go. If you're going to drink wine, drink dry wines, not aperitifs and cordials and dessert wines and sangria that's full of fruit. If you're going to drink spirits, straight up scotch on the rocks is just scotch on the rocks. But if you're going to mix cocktails, make sure the mixers are no carb. So diet tonic water. Tonic water is full of carbs. Diet tonic water, no. Diet sodas. There are lots of 0 carb, 0 calorie mixers available. Don't overindulge. And another thing, sometimes our inhibitions and our resistance can be a little bit weakened if we've had just a little bit too much alcohol. So you can be, really in charge of your food intake and following the protocol, keeping your carbs 20 grams or fewer. If it's not on page 4, don't eat it. La, da, 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 da. Then you get a little bit of that warm fuzzy feeling from just enough alcohol, and you start eating. It can be keto food, but maybe you end up eating 5 ounces of cheese or something. So just be careful. Know your limits. You don't have to drink alcohol. You don't have to shun alcohol. We need to be responsible with our food and alcohol intake. Just know that it's okay. Alcohol's okay. It's not going to throw you out of ketosis. At least no one in the trial that I was part of did that happen. And I've not experienced it. And I essentially have not been out of ketosis in 6.5 years. So there is that. Enjoy your little cocktail every now and again, if that's part of your life. If it makes you vulnerable and you make poor decisions, you want to cut back on the alcohol anyway. And avoid sweet mixers and avoid sweet wines. Beer, okay, beer, I think there is 1 or 2 types of beer that are lower carb. I think it's Michelob Ultra is 1.2 grams of carbohydrate per bottle. Again, it can add up. So just be careful. And another thing is, even though it may not kick you out of ketosis, alcohol has calories. And though we don't count calories, calories count. So if, an ounce of wine has 25 calories, and you're drinking a big goblet of wine, that can add up as well. So common sense, find what works for you, find your happy place, and follow it. And salud, skål, chin chin. Here's mud in your eye. Bye. See you next time.